All right, we are back for another story cast. Tonight's story taking place in the same place as last time, actually. It was Killarney again. I don't know what it is about that place. This place is one of those places where there's so many experiences that I've gotten from this place, both good and bad, funny and not. But I just love this place and I keep going back to it. But to get into it, this story is about the time me and my buddy Tony found ourselves in a search and rescue mission and not meaning to. Honestly, Tony, I love you, man. We just find ourselves in the most weird situations when we hang out. I don't know why. I love it, but it's interesting for sure, the places we've kind of ended up. But yeah, to get the story started, we had the day off and we wanted to just do a hike. So once again, headed up to Killarney. We're going to do the crack hike in daylight this time, not in fog like the last story. We do the hike. We get up to the top of the crack. We're just kind of sitting up there enjoying the views and stuff. It was sunny this time. And we start hearing like out in the distance. So kind of just like, it's kind of hard to see, but we end up seeing like one of those search and rescue choppers. And we're sitting at the top just kind of joking around, like we didn't want to interrupt what they were doing. So anyway, I have my camera out and I'm kind of just like, I got my zoom lens on, so I'm like really zoomed in trying to see where they are, what they're looking for. Obviously, I'm assuming someone's injured or lost. That area is just kind of, you're 6 kilometers basically from any other sort of civilization, and the next civilization is just campsites. So you're really in the middle of nowhere there. So yeah, so it's going around and we kind of hear it like, it would kind of go out and then it would come back in sort of thing, and get a little louder. So it flew pretty close to us at one point, seeing if we were the ones that were lost. And we were just played a cool sort of thing. We're just sitting there. Everything's good on our end. Like we're fine. And it kind of takes off and it goes towards like this like smaller lake, more like a densely vegetated area. And we do our thing. It's starting to get that time where we should start heading down. We start heading back, make it down the mountain, and like we get back to kind of like the forest area, because this trail is kind of goes forest to the approach side of the mountain, and then it goes into your rock wash and then to the summit. So we basically got back to the forest area, and we're just kind of just talking, just back and forth. Just one of those like, have you heard that helicopter in a while? No, I haven't, like sort of thing. We did see it land. It landed in like a marsh of all places. This area is so densely vegetated with like trees and stuff. The helicopter couldn't land. So it ended up landing. I had my big zoom lens out and I'm like filming this thing and I'm getting as close as I can. And we watched this thing like land in a marsh, which I've never seen before. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, it literally was the only spot they could land. So we watched the helicopter stop its blades, turns off the engines. We see the guys like kind of jump out, kind of make their way through the water, through the marsh, and then disappear. So that was from the top of the summit. Now we're back in the forest area, and we're just kind of talking to ourselves and kind of going, I wonder whatever happened to that search and rescue. Like, did they find whoever was injured, lost, whatever it was? And it was like right on key. We hear rustling in the bushes, and like 6 guys holding a stretcher with a guy on it, and 2 of the search and rescue people from the helicopter were with them, coming down some other rock wash that leads to like some other trail. We see them coming down, and like it's just like, oh, they found the guy, but like he's on a stretcher. Like, that's not good. So they're kind of like, it's like 6 younger guys. They're all holding. They're kind of like making their way down. We figure we'll wait there, let them pass, get to where they need to go, and then we'll just continue on the trail. And I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of like just backed up like this. And they were coming across one of like the little bridges that they have there over the stream. And we see the chopper. It's like maybe 100 feet from us in the water. Next thing I know, I'm like, Tony, I'm in my head, and also I'm kind of talking, but I thought Tony was beside me. I basically go, Tony, like, let these guys pass, and then we got to get out of here. Like, let them get to the chopper, sort of thing. And before I know it, I look up, and Tony somehow is holding the stretcher. So he's got his hands on the stretcher, and I guess one of the guys you could tell they were tired. They apparently carried this guy like 1.5 kilometers through the woods down that rock wash holding it. So they were just bagged. So I guess one of the guys was just like, "Can you help take it?" And before Tony could say anything, they just handed him his spot on the stretcher. So I'm like, so I look at Tony, and he's kind of like damn, like kind of like just So next thing I know, I'm holding the stretcher. It just happened so fast where it's like the dude just kind of goes, "Yo, here, quick," and just like drops it. So like next thing I know, I'm at the front of the stretcher, and like we're just bushwhacking. There's 2 guys in front. They're kind of like, they just took basically the direct route. They're not taking any trails. They're just taking the most direct route to that chopper to get this guy out of there. So we're like just straight bushwhacking. It's like tall grass, trees. I'm trying to like not trip over rocks and twigs and stuff because you can't see the floor. These guys were just kind of kicking down whatever they could. And we're walking through, and we finally find like a clearing. So we put the guy down. He starts coming to. He kind of like wakes up. I look down, and this dude was like just pale when he was out, but finally comes to. They sit him up, and they start asking him what happened. These random like 6 guys were on like a backcountry like camping trip sort of thing, and they came across him already passed out on the trail. So like they didn't even know what happened to him. That's right, we did see them. They shot off a flare because we did see a flare come up through the forest, and I guess that's where they pinpointed the guys. So yeah, they were so lucky that these 6 guys just kind of stumbled upon this guy just randomly in the woods. So they helped him back. Next thing I know, the chopper guys, the search and rescue guys are going, "Okay, everyone, be prepared to get wet," which means we're swimming with the stretcher to the helicopter. By this point, the guys were good again. Everyone kind of had like a quick rest. Me and Tony, like, we got bags of camera gear, dressed up just like jeans, shirt, shorts, whatever. There were 6 guys. Mind you, 2 more people from the chopper made their way over, so they did have extra hands. At this point, we realized this is our best time to head out of there. So we kind of once we figured everything was okay and everything was under control, they had enough people to help them. Because they were going to take all the information down of everybody. We didn't know anything about it. Like, we literally helped them for maybe a 50-foot, 75-foot trek through the dense woods, but we didn't know what happened before that. So we figured, like, we're not going to be any help. Just kind of Homer Simpson it into the bushes, which we ended up doing when they were kind of picking them back up, sort of thing, and taking them to the chopper. And then the one guy saw us, and we were just kind of like, "You guys good," sort of thing. And he was like, yeah, we're good. And we just headed out of there. But it was just one of the craziest things. I still wonder, like, what happened to that guy. Obviously, he was good and safe and whatnot. They found the chopper and stuff. And once we realized he was back at the chopper, we got out of there because we had a 4-hour drive back to the city. And but it's just one of those. We just wanted a nice hike. We were just out there for the day. And next thing I know, we're stretchering this guy through the woods towards a marsh with a chopper in the water and some guy who's passed out, and we have no clue who he is. So, Tony, there's just way too many stories of us doing random stuff like this. But yeah, so anyway, we did end up making our way back to the car. Everything was good. They got the guy up and in the air and off. And once we figured that was good, we hightailed it out of there just so we didn't have to be questioned. Because once they start questioning, then we were already late. It's gonna be like another hour. We didn't have any answers for them anyway, so we figured best thing to do, just kind of get out of there, dip in the woods, and be gone. But yeah, that was that's another crazy story from Killarney. That place just seems to keep giving. The place that keeps on giving. So I wonder what the story is going to come out of there this year. So yeah, that's it for this story. And if you want to subscribe and hear more of these, would really appreciate it if you did so. And if you do, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.